You are indeed my rock and my fortress. For your name's sake, lead me and guide me. Take me out of the net that is hidden for me, for you are my refuge. Into your hand I commit my spirit. That comes to us in Psalms 31. It's interesting to imagine that the day being full of light, just like it is today, where Christ would be crucified in between two criminals. It says that in the afternoon darkness fell, and so it's hard for me to really comprehend what it would be to go totally black right now. But in that moment, something happened. The earth began to quake, and it would be as almost everything was uneasy, and the curtain temple was torn in two. Now, those are some pretty significant events. But before that took place, in John, it says that Jesus gave these last words: "It is finished." What does that mean? And why is that significant for us today? You see, being finished was something incredible. The moment in which Jesus left this earth and dying for our sins. But he did something. Being torn, the temple torn in two, really kind of takes a unique meaning. Sometimes we don't quite look at that, and that's what I want you to kind of ponder today. You see, as we see this, inside the temple was the Holy of Holies. It was behind that curtain. Behind that curtain was the Ark of the Covenant. There was a wooden box. It was overlaid with gold that had two angels on both ends. And their faces bowed and their wings meeting in the middle as to form a seat or chair. This seat was called the mercy seat. It was the throne of God. Inside the box were the Ten Commandments, a jar of manna, the food the Israelites ate in the wilderness, and the rod that God gave to Moses and Aaron and that had budded. And once a year, the high priest would enter the Holy of Holies, and it was thought that two other priests would stand on both sides of this great curtain. They would invite this individual in, and they would go before, as the veil would be separated and, in a sense, be lifted because it was just one piece of woven fabric, and that they would walk through and lower it back down. Now, tearing this would be no simple act. This would be a huge act, to say the very least. This would be an undertaking that would take strength and require something, but no one physically did this. No, it was God that did this that day. There's a couple of understandings. What did it mean to tear this temple rod in two? In some ways, it's an understanding of tearing the temple curtain as a sign that Jesus himself entered the Holy of Holies and made one final sacrifice, one final plea in the mercy seat before God. What a unique understanding. Pleading before God to take the seat for our sins. Another illustration would be that the curtain was torn so that me and you may enter into that Holy of Holies where we could encounter God each and every day, regardless of the fact. The act was done. It took place on Friday in the afternoon. Or just like behind me, the cross would become empty. The body would be placed in a grave, and Christ would not be seen until Sunday. Find your worship today. Experience God wherever you are, and understand that this was not the end.